Welcome back. We return to a particular member of the party now being asked to join these two soldiers to speak with their leader. Go ahead.
Just want to say, I'm having a great time. As I'm walking forward, I want to be in front of the soldiers if I can, or actually I can be behind, just like out of their view of like the front of me. So if they're like escorting me, so that I can cast a spell on myself.
Okay.
It has verbal and somatic components.
Okay.
So the verbal will be a big hearty yawn.
Okay.
And the somatic will be just like good old stretch.
Generally,
bring
with
it together.
Verbal components, it is speaking some kind of arcane language, and it's not necessarily that you just need to make a verbal noise, but you can do it quiet enough that they don't notice that it's like, it could just be mumbling to yourself.
Have you ever talked through a yawn? That's essentially it. Then like a big stretch, that's actually just kind of a round up in the hands clasped together, a little bit of lightning happens, and I press it to myself. And I will cast Enhanced Ability, Eagle Splendor, which gives me advantage on charisma checks.
Okay, let's go. You see, as they lead you through the camp, other tents already set up and people kind of like taking some of their supplies and moving them to the different tents. Other tents still being set up at this time as it's pretty early in the night in their setup of the camp. They take you across this camp town now. At this point, the different fires being started and torches being lit around the perimeter of this campsite. The different campsites to shed light within this forest. And some of the people, if they're not too preoccupied with their setting up of their own abodes, kind of turn and acknowledge the other two, who kind of like nod to them, and they kind of like just glare at you like, what is this? This is too early for this. Whatever's happening.
Can I salute in a proper way to anybody that tries to make eye contact with me? Not try to avoid their gaze, just like I'm supposed to be here. Kind of energy.
Sure. Do performance.
Great. Just out of... Is it +0? It is +0. Why would I check? Okay, cool. Great advantage. Thank you so much for an 8.
It's very, just kind of like, you do have some of the element of like, you used to actually do it, but it isn't a full-on proper. It's more of just kind of like a casual salute. Like, it could be chalked up to like, I'm not in uniform and this is probably awkward for you, but I'm going to salute you anyway. Some of them,
or I have a
just
horn,
do like a half,
horn.
They do kind of like a half salute back to you and kind of look at each other. They lead you to the far other end of this camp. You notice a larger tent, striped white and blue. Kind of a boxier tent than the others, set up with kind of a frame around it and even an awning out front. Off to your left, as they lead you over here, you see 3 covered carts and 1 big metal box on a cart. From that cart, you see smoke or steam emanating from a pipe that shoots out the side of this box, and a pipe next to that one on the right side of this box, a potion, almost just glass bulb that sits in there, and it looks like it has kind of like a bubbling liquid within it. The other carts seem to be covered with just like a blue cloth draped over top, and kind of like cinched around to just kind of cover. But you can easy enough tell that those seem to be cages covered over with cloth.
Fully covered?
Fully covered, yes. It's not well covered, so there's like some cracks and stuff where you'd be able to see through different aspects of it, because it's like one is draped over, and then there's like pieces that are like tied to that to just like mostly cover it up, but you can't really get a good view inside, especially with the darkness that is approaching.
Okay.
One of the guys, the one who introduced himself as Roland, the second individual who came up. Boss! Sorry to bother you, I know you're still probably setting up. We just have something we need your help with. After some time, a flap from the entrance of this tent is slightly pulled aside, and you see a masked figure. A figure with a horn that protrudes from the center of the mask, and different accents and elements of the under layer of this mask seem to have this purple green gemstone look to it. It is a somewhat familiar to what was described to you by Talon in the vague visions that he got as far as crystalline. You don't see any kind of spear or anything like that that would indicate that same item that was being mentioned by Talon through his vision. But the individual steps out a little bit. Actually, bring them up on screen, actually. You see that same kind of crystalline accent along the gauntlets and sharp fingers of the gloves that this figure wears. With one hand on their hilt, they walk over slowly and tilt their head. Yeah, again, sorry to bother you. I just thought it would be important for you to meet this man. His name's River. He claims he's on a special assignment as well, kind of like us.
Special assignment? What kind of special assignment?
It's nice to meet you. My name is River, as I was introduced. Without getting into all the specifics, there's been a lot of Parthan movement because of events that I'm sure that you are privy to. I've been in the Admiral's Navy for some time, and as you can see, I'm a little bit of an unassuming sort, so generally my goal is to track the Parthan movement, report back to a liaison so that no stragglers, no ambushes can occur.
And on whose behalf are you tracking the Parthans?
Ultimately, I can't tell you that, because that would put them in potential danger. I'm sure you can understand.
Put who in danger? The Parthens?
Well, I think with me involved, the Parthens are always in danger.
You track them. To what end?
In my age, in times of war, things can get out of hand. The system of command can break down and things can get erratic and therefore unpredictable. So I try to make it more predictable for those above my station. Much above my station.
She just stares for a uncomfortable amount of time. You do see.
Homie, I'm not uncomfortable at all. Like, I'm old. I'll stare right back.
You see these kind of like green lensed crystalline eyes as well. From the figure and the voice that emanates through, you can tell as they were referring to it seems to be a feminine figure.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Actually, like, a lot of questions, but I'll try to keep it.
Go ahead.
When Roland was talking to this figure, was there more of a sense of respect or more of a sense of like genuine fear?
Passive insight, it seemed fear. It seemed more like fear, yeah.
How tall is this?
She's not super tall. She's probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Placement of accent?
Hard to place. It seems to have a degree of Parthen.
Do her vocal cords seem injured from like either being burnt or like extreme smoke inhalation?
It's hard to tell with the mask. The mask adds a certain degree of distortion to it, but she has a rather coarse voice.
Do I recognize the purple or green gemstones from anywhere?
Aside from the description given to you by Alan, no.
Are we in a tent right now?
Nope, she came out.
Came out of a tent.
Tent.
Are we like in between tents?
Standing between you, not between you, behind you is a larger bonfire that they have had made that's kind of producing a good amount of light. That's mostly how you can see off to the left the carts that presumably are the cages. They're not back behind her tent, but kind of like beside and start to trail off back towards the back end of her tent.
And how many people are watching us currently? Is this like a curiosity, or is everybody just kind of too scared to really peek about?
Do a perception check. Look around, because they would be kind of behind you.
I will just say I'm not going to not meet her gaze, so I won't look around. I'll just say passive perception is 22, but if that doesn't get me anything,
it seems like it feels like there's a good number of eyes on you, like but they're like kind of like working as they're like, uh-oh.
Okay, so it's purple eyes versus green eyes, but I'm gonna try to command the respect of just. I understand why people fear you, but I'm not going to really buckle. Because I really don't have a reason to. I'm here because I'm supposed to be.
So, River.
Yes.
What is your plan now?
Well, probably head up to the nearby town of Midham. Get some rest. Continue on. Doing a perimeter of Blumfordshire to Fireville.
Fox J nails it because Fox J lives in this world. Brumlakeford Shireton.
Blumfordshire Tireton. Yes. And report back to my liaison, who
If you're
is
heading to Brumlakeford Shireton, you should already know. You shouldn't stay there long.
No. I'm not heading there, I'm heading around there. I'm seeing who's grouped up, who might be ambushed, what I can do. Is there anything that you can tell me from within that place?
Well, if you haven't already heard, it is the next step in the process.
Now I'm gonna start kind of looking around. If you don't mind me asking, you have quite a caravan here. And what's being transported? I haven't seen such preparation. And I'll kind of like gesture to the cart with the potion bottle. And then kind of like move my eyes over to the covered wagons. Is this some sort of transfer? Is everything all right?
Master has asked that we deliver these who are resistant for further research.
Do I get a sense that Master is a certain wizard?
There's a sense.
Maybe I could be of some assistance. I worked as a field medic for quite some time. Those don't look like the most hospitable of arrangements. Not saying that it should be taken lightly on them, but if you're to do something with them, they might need to be in amicable shape.
Not for what we intend.
Have I ever seen you said it was like a clear bottle, like the clear potion? Or like the bottle, like cask in it is clear? Can I see the liquid at all?
It's just kind of a nondescript liquid.
Okay. And they haven't introduced this person at all. They haven't made reference to a rank, to a name. And I have no
Boss
idea.
is what they've said.
I am glad that we managed to run into each other, however, accidentally. To who do I have the pleasure of meeting?
My name is Kendra. disciple of Morkir.
Kendra? Disciple of Morkir.
Kindra. Indra.
And Morkir is the king of the Parthens?
Morkir is the Grandmaster Wizard.
Yes. I remember someone saying something.
Who is a Parthen. Also, King Varth was a Parthen. That's so King Varth, lore drop. King Varth, before he married Elspeth, was the prominent military leader. Partha being the prominent military city, and so he gained power, brought the wizard, also a Parthen, into higher ranks. Yes. No.
Kendra. Could I ask a favor? Just simple. It would help me in my duties quite a bit if I could get an official head count of all the active soldiers here, so we know who's accounted for, who's part of the caravan.
Roll a deception check.
Sorry, I'm also planning like a next thing.
Yeah,
okay.
It was an odd question to ask, I will say.
Since it's a charisma throwing roll, does he get advantage? He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
because I'm enhanced. Okay, first one is a 3. Coffee dice. Second one is a 15.
Listen,
Yes.
you have your assignment, we have ours. It's best that they not intermingle any more than they already have.
She turns, takes one step forward, tilts her head to the left.
Leave.
And then goes into her tent.
Should I say it? Should I say it? Should I say it?
All right, well, you heard it. Let's go. She doesn't like to say anything twice, that's for sure.
All right. Thank you, Roland. I do appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to kind of lead them, just like I got the message, but I'm going to take the berth toward the wagons and stuff. Just that kind of curious, like, oh, okay, well, I'm here. And
it would be the opposite direction of leaving to go
The opposite-
that way. That would be the
in the
opposite
forest
direction of
everywhere.
leaving. Yeah,
Oh.
but the road is to the right. Your call. It could raise
Okay,
suspicions.
I'll head the right way out and just kind of make small talk with Roland and the other guy, if he's with us or if it's just Roland, even better.
Yeah, Eisen is kind of tailing behind, just because he was the initial one who discovered you. But they kind of lead you through to the road.
Roland, do you like this assignment?
I mean, I guess we're not necessarily on the front lines, so I mean, we're still doing homeland work. But
Roland,
I don't know. I mean, just
It's-
do what I gotta do,
Yeah, you say it's not frontline work, like it's not dangerous. I mean, that
Well, I
cage
mean, it's
back there
dangerous,
was.
all right. The wild elves, they can be awful tough, but I mean,
Yeah,
we didn't even
especially-
have to deal with them. We just transported them. No, it wasn't even our group who captured them and all that. I don't understand what all that is about research and all that, but you know, my job's done once we get them to the capital. So
Yeah, I mean, it must be some wild elf in that little potion iron cage back there.
I don't
Everybody
think
else had
that
wooden
one's a
cloth and
wild
all.
elf. I don't know. That one was picked up in the prison in Greenvale.
Prison in Greenvale. Is that like some sort of particular prison, like a maximum security, anything of note?
Greenvale's just a village. It would be a village that's kind of east from where you're from, actually. You may have probably heard it, but it's just kind of a
Okay.
mid-sized village.
I mean, that doesn't seem anything special. What's so? I mean, I don't know how many guys you got here, but that's a lot of preparation just to.
I got in on one of them when she would stop in town, since she was asking for any magically inclined or just overly powerful prisoners, if they had any. And I wasn't in that group that got them, so I never got a look at them. But I mean, if they're deserving enough of that box, I wouldn't fuck with them.
It's very interesting. This is, I guess it just kind of runs through the military here. Everybody's very interested in that sort of individual. They're very few and far between. Do they have a name? Do they have do they hail from
none of that? I didn't even get a look at them. All I know is that we replaced that at that pipe there, and we, you know, pull the lever every now and then and refilter it, so to keep him a little drowsy, you know.
You know, it's a shame that I didn't get a chance to inspect it. Rolling between you and me, I'm a little inclined myself in various ways. That's why they keep me around and why I'm, you know, however much I stand out. I could probably keep them down for a more permanent basis and not go through all the sleepy potion that you guys have. It's a shame that I was asked to leave, so, but maybe, you know, if I was able to take a look at them.
Yeah, sorry, you heard, boss. I mean, you got yours, we got ours, so probably best you be on your way. It's a pleasure talking to you. Sorry about that whole devil bit. I appreciate your service.
Roland, hey, don't knock yourself. Your station is incredibly important in this war going on, and all the people serving with you here, the 20, 30, however many. I'm just gonna see if he fills in the blank.
Let me roll a check. Yeah, we stick together, but all right. Have a good night then with you.
I'll do something a little obscure. I'll go to shake his hand. Just, you know, very like, nice to meet you kind of thing.
Just kind of like goes
and
in,
I'll
like, all right, this is a long goodbye.
well, like kind of part of the goodbye, and just cast guidance on him just for like a good feeling. You know, just like this was, you know, just feel a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm important, you know. I don't think he's gonna do anything with it, but just kind of like.
But yeah, it's just gonna be just that way. And he points down the road to the right. That's gonna be Midham for you.
Right.
Don't let him catch you in any more piss bushes.
Yeah, it wasn't a piss bush when I got there, but it's fine. And then I'll start walking.
Okay, elsewhere. What's going on?
So, how long was Foxshade doing doing his thing.
So, from getting the timeline of getting caught to being escorted over there to talking and then saying goodbye, it's probably been about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, in total from like the initial getting caught. So we're looking at just under an hour that has passed into your guys' mission since they set up camp.
So about 15 minutes into that, Talon would have gotten restless. Because he hadn't seen Foxjay, or seen, quote unquote,
Sure.
been made aware of Foxjay. He'll just
What's
kind of...
Talon doing in his restlessness?
I mean, okay, so Talon is high in an oak tree, and Lewin is right underneath him, correct? Or...
Yeah, I mean, they're both like maybe just like a somewhat lower, thicker branch. Yeah.
Okay. Damn it. Where is he?
He'll be fine. They just took him to go talk to the leader. I'm sure she's a good cunt, and nothing's gonna be a problem.
I have a much different feeling, but I don't see him, don't feel him. In 5 minutes,
Listen,
how to get in there.
we do anything stupid now, before any of the rest of them are ready. There's no way we can take on a whole battalion of these cunts.
Or said I was going to. Now, like, do like this kind of thing and like let out a spark.
Then what's your plan?
Doesn't matter. We're in the trees. Setting a few tents on fire, creating a distraction, running into the night.
That's Mavik's rule. He's gonna steal the horses on the second hour. Then we go forth with the plan. That's gonna at least draw a good number of them out. Then we've got a thinner herd, and we can do what we need to do. We stick to the plan. Down Foxjay means nothing.
Tell me when you see him.
Will do.
What's going on with the party in the town? Or I guess on the outskirts of this.
Liliana's getting all of her stuff and putting her stuff on the horses, and anybody checking rooms of Talon and Foxjay and Lewin. Basically, mom status, just taking all the bags, throwing them on the horses, going back in and just getting ready for a getaway in a moment's notice. That's what Liliana's doing.
I'll go ahead and help Liliana with getting the horses ready to go, knowing that we probably aren't going to be coming back here. And then at a certain point, I would like to kind of try to find Avelina, probably as we're kind of readying to go. Avelina, could I...
Smuggling the horse's nose.
That's one of the nice ones. Good pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, the elf that you spoke to, who died, did he say anything about how he died?
Just that he felt a sharp pain in his back. He tried to run. He tried to escape whatever misfortune awaits the prisoners. I didn't want to ask too much about it.
Probably an arrow in the back at that. You say that that you've always been able to do this, is talking with spirits.
Yes.
Have you been able to remember anything else from before you lost the memory?
No, it's more of a feeling that I know I've been able to do this. It's the only thing that feels normal to me. Everything else is strange. I don't know how else to describe it, really.
Well, I think strange is probably fairly apt. A lot of mystery where you're concerned. I notice that you don't really carry yourself the same way most folks do, even most human folks. But thank you for taking that time to give a spirit some peace. It's a terrible thing for an elf to die far away from home, to not be taken care of the way we ought to when we die.
I just try to help where I can, and lost souls tend to need a lot of help.
Okay. Well, I won't linger on it too much. We've got a lot to do, but thank you for showing that kindness.
Of course. Snuggles the horse again.
Lily's gonna bring down the last of the stuff, which will be Lewin's, and she's gonna throw it on Lewin's horse and talking to Mavic, who she's not gonna remember his name. And as they walk out, and who are you again? Like, what's your name?
Name's Mavic.
Mavic. So we're gonna take the horses. Okay, and we're gonna take them as close as we can, keeping it discreetly. I'm thinking 50, 75 yards away from the camp. So when things go south, we just get out, and we're not coming back. So would you mind taking this old girl, and I'll take one of the others, and Farron, Avelina, if you guys want to take the other horse, we should be heading out here shortly.
So, what we're going to want to do is when we take their horses and cause that commotion, make sure that your horses aren't in their path. They're going to try to chase after us with any of the remaining horses, and I'm sure some of the other guards will be thrown about. Do it quickly and get out.
Do you think you could sway your party to not go that direction where our horses are?
Just tell us where you're planting them, and then we won't go that way.
Oh, you're coming. You're riding that boy.
Right, well then I just need to give them the heads up.
Sounds like a plan. Unless anybody else feels it's wrong.
No, I think it's good to have the horses close at hand. It's going to be a race against time trying to get the prisoners out.
Question is, if there's too many of the prisoners, how are we going to get them all on horses?
You put the ones that are the most injured on horses, have the rest run. We're fleet of foot. As long as they're able to be in the woods, they can hide. Well, at least wild elves raised wild can hide.
I'm sure their natural inclination as soon as those doors are opened, if it's all going to shit at that time, they're going to be running towards the woods.
Avelina, how many did you say there were?
Of what?
Prisoners.
Solon said 3 carts, 5 to 6 prisoners on each.
Shouldn't be too bad. This is risky. It's very.
We just got to hope
very
that they're not beaten too much so that they can't run themselves.
I can help with some of the wounds.
Foxjay too.
We need to get them out of there if they're bound for what I think they're bound for.
Okay. Is there anything else that we think we can need? Anybody? Anything good on food? I don't know. Liliana's gonna go into her back and check for potions. She will find 2 that she has. I'm all set, so we'll just wait. I think it's been about an hour now. So we wait about another 30 before we head that way.
Once we hit the tree line, I'll make sure that our steps are silent. Call in some of the shadows to help us hide.
It's a plan. Then she's just gonna go inside and wait another 30 minutes.
The time comes and goes. If there's anything else you would like to prepare. Same with those camping outside the camp directly. The time comes and goes. Time to convene with the rest of the party.
I mean, it's kind of metagaming at this point, but like, what happens to Foxjay? Where does Foxjay go?
Where did you go, Fox?
Curious.
Your call. Do you just go with you could have just met up with the town group and just been a part of their group at that point.
I know that Lewin and Talon are in a tree. How far is that tree removed from the road? Is there? And I know that they both rolled natural 20, so I have no idea kind of where they are. But I know
where they are.
General idea.
The natural 20 wasn't necessarily to hide from you. When they climbed up in that tree, you know they're in that tree. It's a crit official. Thank you for the raid. How are you guys doing? Hope you had a good stream. Welcome. They're about to do a little infiltration rescue mission of a night raid camp. It's the whole camp itself isn't that far from the road at all. So that tree wouldn't be too far removed from the road. It would have been on the opposite end of the camp from where you left, so you would have just had to walk down the road and then jump back into the forest.
Okay, I'll do that. I think it's important that that Talon does not do anything to try to be protective. I know Lewin doesn't care. He doesn't care about me. It's fine. No, but I'll just kind of go, double back, look around, not be like just go this way, make sure everything's okay, but kind of look in the tree line, because I'm sure Talon is doing like a wide kind of berth of just like where might he be, and just kind of like just be present, and then kind of go. Because you said the tent itself was like 15 feet from the shrub, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So then I'm just going from the tent, and then so I'm not making like a wide kind of like thing. It's just more so just the natural movements that Foxjay would have. Checking.
So it's 15. The tent that the initial guys set up that caught you was about 15 feet away from that bush where you guys were. You were like many yards away from when you went to that main tent to talk with the leader, and then you went to the road, and then from the road you would have gone towards Midham and then back into the woods to get back to that tree. So it's up to you how if you want to try to get that close and sneak. They're in their tent 15 foot away from that tree. Probably another like 60 feet, and that's the road.
Okay, so I'll go in the road, go in the woods, kind of like what you said, make a wide berth in the woods themselves back to the road, so that it's like, parallel with the tree, just to be like, hopefully they saw me, and then do the exact opposite, and then go toward Midham.
Okay.
And I don't know if they clocked me, but it's just one of those, like, hey, yeah.
Did Talon or did Lewin clock?
Use your ears, Talon, for one, because he would be Clanky Boy, right? You got your armor on.
Yeah.
So, Lewin's perception wasn't super high.
Okay, can I roll perception? Because I know he'd be
Yeah,
like
yeah, absolutely.
looking, like, or not looking, but like actively trying to. Okay. That's a natural 2.
Those are the two.
Yeah, you can't tell if Fox J circled back around.
Cool. Cool. So I would like to do something then.
Okay, go ahead.
I drop out of the tree.
Lewin immediately.
using-
What the fuck are you doing?
Where is he?
We'll find him when we start the fucking heist.
Tell me where my friend is.
I don't know where he is, but if he got captured with a lot of them, he's right there where we're gonna go for the rest of them. We just gotta get him out, and that's it.
What is the birth of the campsite?
Like from, in which way?
So if I were to sneak around and try and like get different perspectives, if you will, I'd go to the right towards the road, just in case.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of distance between the road and the campsite, so there wouldn't be a whole lot of coverage on the right side. Deeper into the woods would be on the left side. There's about like the whole width of the campsite in that kind of like tunnel formation towards that big tent and the carts is about 80 to 90 feet across between the staggered tents.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing for me to hide behind to the left or to the right, then I'll
It
go
would be
to
to
the
your
left.
right when you're facing towards the prisoners.
Wait, so which way is deeper into the forest?
If you're facing the prisoners from where you are, to the left. Sorry, my
Deeper into
camera's
the forest.
probably flipped, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, then I'm going to try to avoid being seen, so I'm going to go deeper into the forest, but I'm going to... My sight is different than most. See if there's a way for me to find perspective of where my friend may be. And just not get caught, but to make sure that they're safe and I don't have to go in and
Okay.
be a
Roll
dick
me
and
a
probably
stealth
die.
check.
Okay. Better fucking work. Okay. It's not terrible. That's a...
And I
That's
believe you
terrible.
have guidance from
10.
Fox J, correct?
Do I have guidance?
From
No,
last camp-
guidance is technically a concentration cantrip. It's like the
Oh, okay.
only one, and I did enhance ability.
Okay. Yep. So it's gone.
It's fine. It's fine. That's a 10.
Trancing around in the woods behind the camp. Carefully stepping, unable to determine if you're about to step on twigs or leaves or anything of that nature, but still feeling your way around. You hear from a tent that's closer than you anticipated.
The fuck was that? Did you hear it? Man, quit fucking messing around. No, I'm just messing with you, mate. Yeah, we'll be fine. For somebody as brave as you, it's crazy that you're so scared of the dark at night and camping around it. It's, yeah, fuck off, mate. Pause there for a moment, realizing that what he was referring to was not you. And travel on further, making your way around. You don't hear anything from Fox J. Roll a perception check.
Just straight perception.
Just straight perception, yes.
You're my new favorite die. That's natural 16 for a 23.
23. You hear slightly further off to your left a little bit of a murmur and kind of you can't make out what they're saying, and the harder you focus, the more you realize, and unless you speak Elvish.
No, I speak Celestial and Common.
There is slight conversation being had within some of the carts. Then you hear further off behind that the voice of some clinking of some armor, and then a voice that comes out from within kind of a tent. I don't want to hear no more of that fucking language. Next one to say something gets the dagger. And then he trounces back into the tent. You hear the rough and quick just of fabric as he walks back into his tent. Then you hear further on, deeper into the encampment. Boss, we've pretty much set up for the night. We've got some people on rotation. We're gonna get it started and camp down for the night. Is there anything you need us to do? Any kind of run into Midham or anything like that? And you hear a voice from the tent after a slight rustling of fabric. This is a good ways away at this point from where you are. Very well. No. I think we're fine for now. Those that can, rest up, and we continue our leg tomorrow. No more interruptions. I have very important work. And then you hear of the fabric. Yes, ma'am. And then that guard waltzes away, and you hear the cackling of a big bonfire.
Okay. Two things. That voice, did it... First of all, rewind. My vision, I didn't hear anything. Nope. I just saw. Okay.
As helpful as that is, because now you can't see in real life.
Yeah, it's great.
But gathering from what you could hear, that voice was coming from a mask. Immediately, your mind's eye puts that connection together. This must be the individual. When you hear this coming through the mask, it immediately pictured that eye and that mask that you had seen.
Okay. The other thing, maybe this is like above that check, but did it sound like the tent? Did it sound like the same tent when the guard was yelling at the elves and then left? That the masked person walked in and out of too, or
that same tent?
different
No, it would have been very distinctly different as far as like.
Okay.
So if you're closer off to your front left is the carts where you're hearing the Elvish language. Closer to just your left, deeper into the woods, there was a tent where that dick guard came out and harassed them, essentially. And then more into your front, slight left, deeper into the encampment is where that voice of the lady came from. The leader.
Could I clock about how far the elves, the Elvish, was from me?
The Elvish was about probably about 40 feet away.
Okay. I don't want to go in, but I'm not going to. I'm going to return to the tree that I hopped out of.
Roll stealth check.
Not hearing Foxjay. Gonna go back. Hopefully Lewin is still there, and I will.
Before you get back, roll a stealth check. Go ahead.
Yes. 15.
Total?
Yeah, 15 total.
As you're crossing back away, you try to take a little bit of a further berth away from where you had initially, realizing you were too close to that initial tent where they heard the guards joking with each other. And walking through, no matter how hard you try, there's just an innate kind of through the woods, and you try to slow it down a little bit and try to take it even further, but it's just impossible to avoid the foliage on the ground. So you move even slower. It just seems like everything is so much louder, and it's just like, God, because it's just like you hear from within that same tent. Wait, hold on. What the fuck was that? No, mate, I'm not fucking falling for that again. No, I'm for real this time. Are you being for real? Yeah, no, really. It's off into the woods. Mate, it's probably some kind of deer or something. It's an awful sneaky deer. I'm gonna go check. You hear fabric moving, and then
from
clank
from
armor.
the fabric moving. How far was that?
That was about 30 feet.
Okay.
You increased, like last time you were like didn't realize, but you were like 15 feet away from them, and now you increased it to like 30, and now it's, yeah. Mate, just come back. What are you doing? Are you coming with me or not? I'm not going out into the woods in the middle of the night.
Is there water around me?
You don't hear any.
Like no puddles or anything. It's just going through like leaves. That this guy's just going through like leaves and dead branches, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You hear something yoinked out of the ground what appears to be, or it seems to be, a torch. And he's walking.
In my sight, in my vision, my very kind of convoluted, kind of blurry vision, can I see approximately how far? Maybe. And could I also maybe roll a stealth check to try and hide?
How far, maybe what?
Where this douche knuckle is encroaching on.
Seems to be about 30 foot away at this time. He went and grabbed a torch, and now he's walking. You hear as what was initially like just brush. It's becoming more like forested area, which means where you are as far as hearing. 30,
okay.
25, 20. It's getting closer.
What I want to do, I want to find the biggest tree and run up it and try and like hide and make it seem like I'm a squirrel.
Roll a stealth check.
Cool.
And an acrobatics check after that.
That's a nat 1 for a 5. And then the acrobatics check is a Jesus Christ, that's a 15 for a 22.
You go to make a break for it to a nearby tree, not realizing your foot was right underneath a kind of pinned branch, catches your ankle, you fall and start to roll down this smaller little embankment, and you feel that you've reached this kind of like rockier area. You hear the
I'm just a clumsy deer. I'm just a clumsy
Did you see
deer.
anything? Well, I think I did. It just bolted. I don't know what it was, though. We should get more men. You and I aren't enough for this. Go get some more.
You hear the further group of guys kind of. That guy leaves. This one, you hear still the torch just.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
hear...
spend 3 key points, and I'm going to cast Hold Person and blow out the torch at the same time.
Okay. What is the range on that?
Oh yeah, only if I'm in range. Fuck, what is that? Hello. 60 feet.
60 feet is plenty enough.
Hey,
what's my
that
save?
That is a wisdom save. 14. Come on. Please.
Wisdom save. That is an 11. With that, he kind of.
Okay.
You hear the torch dropped. What's your move?
Okay, so he is now paralyzed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am going to go up to him.
God.
Hold on. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. I need to mark.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
He was going back to the tree, near the tree. I was like parallel to the tree on the road about this time. And natural 1 on a stealth check. My passive perception is very high. Would I have...
This would have been after you had passed by. This is when they didn't hear you for the time that they were hoping to. So.
Okay, so I'm like...
Yeah, you went
well
past. Assumedly back to the other party who's going to infiltrate. Yeah.
Cool.
What are you doing? What?
Okay, so now he is paralyzed. I am going to skirt around him so he doesn't see me, and I am going. God, this is terrible. Because he's paralyzed, would that mean any attack I make is a crit?
I would say in this case, just for rule of cool and situational awareness, you can coup de grace if you would like.
I don't know what that means, but
It means kill, finish him.
Cool. Because that's what I want to do. Is I want to snap his neck and I want to drag his body into the woods.
Okay.
And
drag him off into the woods. And then what?
okay. Now I'm gonna go find the tree and run up it.
The same one as Lewin or a different one? You do get the sense now that you have some time to make your way back to where you were initially.
Yep. I am going to step at the window. I am going to go as fast as I can.
As you
And run
through the woods, you hear kind of an encroaching clanking of several more guards, and then you hear one of them kind of shout out as it gets a little bit quieter. Mikey? Mikey, did you go after it yourself? Mikey? Whatever it is, it might have got Mikey. We gotta go. You hear a few more. Several people going off into the woods.
Cool. I
Roll
run up the
a
tree and I
survival check for how well you hit that body. How about that?
God shit. Any god that there is. This is the campaign that I multi-class into a cleric. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. You said survival?
Yeah.
That would be a natural 18 for a 21.
21. Yeah. You kind of hit him in the root system of a stump, so like if they weren't looking super well, and especially by the night torchlight, it would be pretty difficult to see him. You even took like a millisecond to just kind of throw some leaves up over it. They wouldn't find him by night, probably. You hear them kind of trounce off into the woods. Yes. What the fuck did you do?
I bought us a distraction.
Oh, it's fucking safe. From his perspective, he sees like just a few like blips of torchlight just waltzing off into the woods. Returning back to the main party, what are you guys doing? It is now time. Not the main party, but I mean the other. Yes.
Liliana is going to go to Mavic. Do you have a longbow? A spare longbow? Do any of you men do?
Yeah, he does.
And I look over to the guy. May I borrow that and all your arrows?
Roll persuasion. It's become a cryptid story.
Persuasion. That is a 19 for persuasion.
He starts to like unrack it. Can I ask what for?
In case I need to stay in the trees.
It's
I got a
kinda
king eye.
gonna
And
be
then
my
she's gonna
plan,
give him
but-
a wink. She's gonna give him a wink. Probably better than you anyway.
Want
And
that
she's
back
gonna hop
when
on
we're
her
done.
horse.
You guys make your way
And,
over. So which way are you making your approach?
Not on the main road. I'm sure there's probably in between houses, and we can probably pick like a more discreet route into the forest, but we'll probably take one that'll take us straight into the forest, like in between houses, into there. Just stay off the main road.
Yep, easy enough. But I mean, which way are you approaching the camp?
So
Are you
if I'm
going to-
imagining,
From the wood, like deeper into the woods, over to the tree where they are to reconvene with them.
yeah, we'll park the horses. We'll put the horses probably 50 yards from that tree. And
And
I will
Fox
convey
J, what
that
did you do?
to.
Did you make your way back to the other party?
Yeah.
Okay, wide berth back. I don't know in what time the talent thing happened. I was just going slowly. Maybe I saw lights flicker on in the camp. I wouldn't change direction, if they're behind me, but I'd probably pick up the pace to get to probably halfway to Midham, because I know they're going to be, like on horse and then sneaking or something. So, yeah, just trying to catch up with the party.
And you do, easy enough. And relay to them everything that you know about the
Hey guys, everything is fine. I got in there, I got out. Talon and Lewin are up in a tree. Everything's ready to go.
You go into their fucking camp.
Yeah, someone peed on me.
Sorry, what?
I was in a bush and they peed. I couldn't. Yeah, a lot of asparagus in that camp. I
I'm
don't.
gonna pull off a water canteen and pour it.
Thank you so much. And then I'll give a description of just the best I can of the layout and especially the lady in question and the kind of intimidation there. Just anything where the horses are located, even if I just kind of heard them, the hot dog shape, all this stuff.
Okay.
At the news that things have kind of gone a little off plan, I'm going to throw my hood on, put my mask on, and ready my bow and knock an arrow in it and run very lightly towards that camp.
Go ahead.
Wait, before you get too far ahead. Everyone going in. Come on. I can give us extra cover.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
Stick
as
with
we as we get to the edge of the tree line, I will go ahead and as you have previously seen the tattoos on my face, there's sort of a pulsing glow, and this time it travels down to my neck, presumably to further tattoos on my body, and then almost pulling in from the darkness of night, shadows seem to coalesce in my palm. And then I'll cast it up in the air, passing it over top of all of us until the shadows drip down onto us. Casting Pass Without Trace, so that all of us gain a +10 to our stealth checks.
Wonderful. Abandoning the horses at this point 50 yards off away from that main meeting tree. Make your way stealthily over to Lewin and Talon. On your way there, you see a group of men and torches bobbing through the forest, returning back to camp. A few of them, some of them still remain, some of them going further off into the woods.
Aaron, do your little... And Liliana's gonna do this little motion, like, bird call, like...
So I will nod and do a series of short whistles, which would mimic a wood duck call. So it's like an overtone, two-tone whistle. To try to... Basically, anyone who knows that, or knows that that is a type of bird that does not live in this area, they would see it or hear it as a signal.
Yep. So Talon and Lewin are now aware that you guys are there, close.
Hey everybody. By the way, me talking is just a little bit nicer now. I seem more charismatic just for some reason.
For some reason.
I don't know how you want to do this, but Kindra, who is a disciple of Moragir, is in her tent. And if you need me to go in at any time to maybe lull her out, I can do that. I just want to put that out there.
I would almost say that it would make the most sense for those who can do a lot of damage quickly to try to silence her and deal with her in her tent, such that the others in the camp do not notice, if we can manage it.
Okay. Seems that they are alarmed for some reason, so...
It's worrisome.
Yeah, while they're talking, Holson, I would like to watch them, and if they're really around the prisoners in the cages, I would really like to look for that. If there's a lot of
Might be
guards
too far
around
to
there.
see from where you are. Through the, even with like dark vision, it'd be pretty far away.
Yeah. Okay.
While they're doing their thing, knowing the call, Jesus Christ, if it is safe enough now, I'd like to descend and try and go find them, if like I can deduce that they're not too far away because I heard said call.
They're not too far away. They would be just a few feet away from you at this point. Just kind of like in just behind you guys. Yep. Unless you guys didn't want to get that close. I don't know what your plan was.
We wanted to.
Oh, yeah, then I'd be down there. And I would tell them I found said cage and where it is. I won't tell them how.
All right, so at that point then, it seems like we're waiting for the distraction to slip in, or do we want to try to deal with the leader in her tent?
No, let's wait for the distraction.
Do we want to go for the cages at the distraction, or do we want to try to deal with the leader when the distraction occurs?
Let's save the people first. What we originally came for.
That's well. All right.
If there's spare time, maybe we offer her a dance.
I'd like that.
DM. Oh,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was Fox J trying to talk, and I was going to acknowledge Fox J.
From one cart to the last cart, excluding the potion-y one, what is the radius that one could touch all of them?
Touch all of what? What do you mean?
The carts. So if I wanted to affect all the carts in some sort of spell radius, hypothetically speaking.
It's about a 50-foot radius.
Okay.
Or I guess from cart to cart, there's about 50 feet between tip to tip of carts, not including the big metal box one.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I guess now that everything's calmed down, let's go get some people out of the carts.
We wait. But while we wait, I'm gonna... Fern, can you get a good eye on the cages?
Okay. I can, well, actually, DM. So I can... Hold on, trying to get the distance. I have dark vision out to 60 feet. Can I see the setup of the carts?
It would be
or would I need
more
to
than
closer?
60 foot away from there.
Okay.
But didn't they light fires and stuff? Can't we see?
it's still a good ways away. There's trees and stuff in between that. You can't necessarily from one end all the way to the other end very clearly. You can see hints of that firelight, kind of the big fire that's been mentioned, but not clearly.
All right. I'd need to get closer, but if we can get closer, then I can see it quite well, even if it's not well lit.
What's the patrol situation like?
It seems that they have groups of 2 or 3, several of them just kind of walking through the camp. There's 2 different groups doing that. One group walking towards the road. They walk kind of like on that perimeter. There's been enough people on that outside that it's kind of gotten kind of wish-wash about who was on guard and who was out looking for Mikey.
In the daytime, Holson, we got a pretty good look at the area. I think I rolled a natural 20. Can I remember in which the side where the cages reside, is there open trees? Is there a hillside? Is there anything? If we were to rotate silently to the other side, to be on the side of the cages, and by we I mean Avelina and Fern and myself, could Liliana recall a lot of a lot of bushes, trees, something we can hide into immediately that are right in the proximity of the cages?
Yeah, it is more dense over there, by the cages, back behind them, not where they have it set up.
Yeah, back behind would be just.
But there is that.
perfect,
Yeah,
actually.
there is that one singular tent out over there.
You're gonna see Liliana put her head down, and she's gonna have her hand pressing against her forehead, just really trying to remember. Right. Okay. So when we came here during the day, there was a lot of trees, bushes on that side. I'm gonna point to where the cages would be. Fern, if you can still do what you're doing with the quietness, do you think we can make it to the other side?
I think so. I set up some hides for us to be able to duck behind if need be, and I just generally, I've got a good memory for the terrain. And DM, to note, I have the Outlander background, so I can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features that I've passed through.
Sure.
So that would probably help navigate around, I would hope.
Foxjay, it's your call if you want to come with us. But I think that's what we should do. When the distraction comes, we'll only have a small amount of time. If we get there before the distraction comes, we'll save that time.
We all need to get as close as possible, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because if it all goes to shit, we need to be able to rally out, let them run, and then we all take off.
Yeah. I need to be closer.
I can lead us. Fortunately, I found it during my little scouting. DM, would I also know, like, maybe there was some good hiding spots around that area?
Besides the embankment that kind of goes down a little bit, and some like thicker trees, nothing necessarily that like stands out as far as like that you could see.
Fuck off. I will relay said things though.
Well, no time like the present then. Let's go.
Follow
And
closely behind Fern.
You guys make your way around to the back. How far are you doing this? Because you do have people that are kind of going out into the woods and people that are coming in. How are you doing that?
Yep. I would assume that we would basically just orbit around, ducking to hide if need be, but otherwise trying to maintain an even distance.
So going like wide. Roll stealth.
And everyone, don't forget your +10, except Talon and Lewin will not have that because they were not with me.
And
Wait, I
if
thought it was an area.
I think it's area when casting. Concentration up to an hour. Yeah, it has to be each creature within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
and anything specifically on Liliana Holson, it would be at disadvantage.
Yep.
That's broken. That is so broken.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Your rolls.
38.
30.
30.
That's
20. 30.
14.
Making your way through, everybody kind of notices it's hard for Talon to watch where he's stepping a little bit, but
Can I just like
confident
piggyback?
You feel confident enough that with all of the commotion going on further and then closer into the camp itself, you've been undetected. You make your way around to the rear side of the cages. A tent stands between you and the cages. The cages themselves seem to be blocked off on the sides and the openings facing inwards towards the camp. Torches that kind of stand off in front of those cages to kind of like light out in front of them.
Is there anyone currently in the tent?
Roll perception check.
Cocked. Perception, that's a plus. 22.
With the 22, it doesn't appear to be anybody in there at the moment that you can hear or see otherwise.
Okay.
I'm going to tap my foot on the ground, and through Farron's kind of wispy shadows, a little dull purple spark gives everybody bless except for Lewin. Just for what's to come.
Except for Lewin.
I'm not made of spell slots, homie.
Okay, how are you approaching it?
I believe at this point we are waiting for the distraction. And I'll be keeping active watch as my eyes are kind of swiveling around. The party might notice that the firelight reflects in Farron's eyes, similar to how it would an animal with similar dark vision. It's a little eerie when the light reflects back. But I'm just making sure that we don't get snuck up on by a guard while we wait for the distraction.
Oh, right, distraction. I'll bless when the distraction is about that. I thought we were just about to go there. That's why you were looking at
it's
the tent.
it's about to happen. You hear a commotion
Okay.
developing within the camp. You hear horses yipping and the trotting of horses, and then you hear like armor going, "Hey, get them! Stop them!" And then you hear some other horses saddling up. It has begun.
As
Immediately when you can see those closer to that big bonfire that's centered around or closer to the cages themselves, you see a few figures run off towards the west, closer to that initial starting tree where those guys seem to have taken the horses and buggered off.
Yeah, I'm on lookout duty. If anybody gets too close, then I'll deal with them.
I'm gonna look to the non-humans because I know they have dark vision, probably. Are we clear?
Let's get moving.
All right, Avelina, you take that one. I'll take this one. And anybody else good at lockpicking?
No, but I can smash it.
Let's not. I'll take. If whoever finishes there faster, we'll take the last one, and we'll provide assistance. Okay? And
Got it.
and she's just gonna do a hand motion and just creep low, crouching, and making her way to the.
Make it away.
Making her way to the gate.
Actually, I want to amend what I'm doing. I'm going to, because the metal cart is closer to the wooden carts, correct?
The metal cart is furthest away from where you guys initially started, so it would be the furthest east. Closest to the big tent where Big Boss is.
Okay. I'll place myself in between the kind of last cart and that metal cart. Still kind of in the brush. Thank you so much.
And we're going.
And
Yeah,
we're
in.
going.
We're going. We're crouching in.
How about are you going in?
I'll take the furthest one away. As for I do have advantage on stealth checks and stuff like that, so I will take the furthest one. Guiding
Furthest one
Amelie
as in
to-
the metal one, or
Of the three,
of the three, yeah.
I'll take the closest one, just kind of like stepping where she steps and just following, doing what she does, kind of thing.
you approach the torchlight and bonfire light increases the suspense as you get closer, now realizing you don't have the comfort of night as you get closer to them, and realizing that the entrances are poised towards this bright sun, makeshift sun that is created. Who else is sneaking to which one? And those two who have already said that they're doing so, roll me stealth checks.
While they're doing that, I will declare that I am going with Farron to wherever cart that they're going to.
I'm going to be following a little bit behind, not going necessarily to the remaining cart yet, but I'm basically doing overwatch for Avelina and Liliana so that if anyone notices them, I'm going to try to take them out before they can sound the alarm.
22 for my stealth. I rolled 2 12s.
Fox J.
You're blessed.
Oh, I am blessed. Well, no, I think 22 is a pretty comfortable number, so I'll save my bless.
You also have Pass Without Trace still.
Oh, you don't
Oh.
save a bless, you use it on...
I use
wait,
it?
no. Bless isn't for ability checks. Never mind. It's just for attack rolls. Forget what I'm saying.
So then
Totally.
32 for Pass Without a Trace.
16.
39.
Glancing in as you enter the brightness of the torchlight and the bonfire light, the area around that bonfire and around the carts themselves seems pretty vacant.
I'm gonna start picking at the lock, and I'm gonna do a hand motion to my mouth to them to stay quiet as I start.
Before you get there, are you opening like the curtain, or are you just going like immediately into the lock?
Oh, there's a curtain? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably...
there's a whole like draped over around the back end, around the rear end, around
Yeah.
the top, and then right at the front.
Yeah, so I will go ahead and slowly open it first. I want to see what's in there.
Do you have dark vision?
No.
As you begin to pull the curtain aside and kind of peering in, expecting to see the 5 to 6 figures either chained or dirtied, it catches your eye initially that you see kind of a metallic gleam off of a figure within, as the kind of bonfire light behind you illuminates it, and as you pull it a bit further, you see even more of this metallic gleam, and then you hear kind of a
I rolled a 39 to my stealth, though. So do I do an additional roll to peek behind it, or?
It's pulling this and letting sunlight come in, or like letting that torchlight come into the into the area.
I'm gonna rotate around. I'm gonna close the curtain and rotate back in the way that I came, waiting for whatever it is to come back.
As you go around, you hear that door open, and you hear of clinking of metal as some people come out of those caged carts. And immediately you see 2 of the soldiers jump out from within the prison carts. And one of them kind of hey! And you hear the other 2 carts as you guys.
I'm gonna go.
Where are you guys as far as like when those are opening? As she's opened hers.
I'm going to grab Avelina before she even goes into the thing. I'm saying, "No, we gotta go," and I'm gonna drag her by her collar, the collar first. Her like, "No, we're going."
I would have been like going to pick the lock. I see you start to leave. I'm like, "What is going on?" And then
we're going, not today, and go back to run back quietly as possible back to the group, and I'm gonna gesture to go up, like as we're running, like get up, like get away, and start hiding.
So we have Farron and Talon were out in front of theirs. Avelina was in front of yours. You were the first one to notice that something is amiss as you open yours. The others, as you guys are going to open yours, the doors are opened on you, essentially like opened towards you, and out come the guards. From what you can tell, from each one, just 2 guards or 2 of the soldiers come out from each of them. Glancing about, it doesn't seem like anybody else is coming from within the town, or the encampment itself.
I'm still gonna get in a tree, and I'm gonna get my bow ready.
Okay. So you're going off further. Okay, you would have been past the. Okay.
Okay. DM, just clarification. The door that... Sorry. Farron, you were lockpicking something?
I was
right?
not picking the lock. I was watching what was happening, and I'm curious what we see, because they're running, but I'm
sticking next to Farron, and I have my bow staff out ready, just in case.
Were you guys, like, by the entrance ready to open them up, essentially?
No, we were a couple yards back, basically waiting to provide cover if needed.
Waiting to go. Gotcha. So, with that... go ahead.
Does Fox J see guards coming out of what should not be a guard cart?
Yes.
Okay. Can I make a movement in the same time that Liliana did and do something, or is that asking too much?
In the same time, yeah, no, you would have seen her. Well, no, she was on the opposite end of you. It'd probably be hard to see her because she was at the far end cart where you wouldn't probably be able to see. Not immediately, but
to you
Like,
would have
just
initially
like
been
looking
able to
at the
see
underneath
them
the
come
cart.
out
He
of the
came
guard.
with me. He came
No.
with me.
Oh,
No?
I thought
I
you
was
stayed
in
way
between
back.
the last cart. I was in between the last cart and the iron cart.
Okay.
So I
Gotcha.
wanted to shuffle over, like, behind the iron cart if I can, so that all of them are in a line, all of the carts.
Okay.
Within that time, and cast
Sure.
something. But if that's too much, that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, the carts kind of line up, but at this point, the people who were within them have piled out, and they're kind of like scattering about. You see one of them grabs a torch and starts to head back behind the carts, so that's where everybody else is. They're starting to head back that way.
Okay. One of these carts are in a line, and so, like, right point blank in front of me is the iron cart.
Yes.
I am going to cast Gust of Wind. So I don't know if I can. I think it can reach maybe the next cart after this one. But it's a line of strong 60 feet long, 10 feet wide, blast and direction you choose for the spell's duration. Each creature that starts its turn within the line, strength saving throw, or push 15 feet away. And mostly I'm really interested in the gust disperses gas or vapor and extinguishes candles, torches, and similar unprotected flames. So
Okay.
I want to disperse the vapor that's around this iron cart.
It's not necessarily there's a vapor around it. It's just this pipe, and then there's just an exhaust. It's just a small amount of exhaust coming out of the top of the.
So it's not like just surrounded in this
No,
kind
it's
of
not
billowing
surrounded.
thing.
It's just like it's like almost a chimney,
okay.
a tiny chimney,
Oh,
just a pipe exhaust.
In that case, is there a lever?
The lever would be on the other side towards the last of the regular carts, where a guard is currently, or a soldier is currently. they are 3 of them sallied out of that last cart, and 2 each out of the other 2 carts.
So it was
2
just
of the
all
guys,
guards and all the carts.
It is all soldiers in all of the carts.
Okay, this changes things.
Hello, catching cantrips. Thank you for the raid.
I will. Instead, if that's okay, to, like, because I misunderstood kind of all that sort of stuff. From where I was standing, I'll cast Sleet Storm on the carts.
Okay.
So, 20-foot tall cylinder with the 40-foot radius centered on a point you choose within range. So the center cart, or trying to get the most guards. Really, the ground in the area is covered with slick ice, making it difficult terrain.
How big is that radius?
The radius is 20-foot tall cylinder with a 40-foot radius, so 80 feet across. Essentially just trying to slip them up to give my party a chance to move where they need to. So, flavor-wise, I will, it's all the components. So, you know what? I'm right there. I'll make a show of it, for sure. I'll reach my hand up with where all the lightning scars are, and then this kind of like ethereal Leviathan head protrudes from my shoulder toward the sky. A cloud kind of forms and just shoots ice and sleet toward that area.
Perfect.
And if Roland is there, I'll give him a wink.
Roland is not among this bunch.
Okay,
you see
fair.
as some of the guards start to kind of like slip up as they make their way around the carts. In which direction is everybody attempting to head? Just back north into the woods, basically.
Back where we originally were talking about the infiltration. So Liliana probably would have taken the closest tree from that point.
I will put my hand on Farron's shoulder and say, I'm with you. I'm with you, my friend.
I will, not saying anything, give sort of like a a squeeze, like reaching back and a squeeze of the hand of affirmation that I heard you, and I will follow after Leliana as I go, trying to see. So rather than prisoners in these carts, it was all guards.
It was, yes.
Is there anything else coming out? Can I see any other spot where prisoners might have been moved, or do I get a sense that this was a trap all the way down the line?
So from the report of that Talon gave, he did hear Elvish speaking at some point, but that was maybe 45, well, I guess at this point, over an hour ago that
Okay.
would have happened.
So I am going to, as I'm running alongside everybody, say, kind of under my breath for everyone to hear, they had to have moved them. There's no way that they could have. They had to just switch the spots. We need to check the tents. We can't leave them.
As you guys make your way further into the forest, as you glance about to see the tents from the large main tent, from what you can see as some of the guards kind of encroach past the carts, you see the figure of the disciple, the leader, emerge from that tent, a blade in one hand and a staff in the other. They slam the staff into the ground, and it has some kind of orb on it, and you see they just kind of gently caress the orb. She kind of turns and kind of like nods to it, and then turns to her tent. And with emotion, with her right hand, the sword, the tent is almost taken with it as these two large figures emerge from within the tent. You see a chain dragged in this hulking behemoth of a creature, and each of them a chain with a hook, and on the other hand, where a hand should be, a spike in that same kind of green and amethyst-colored material, and these inhuman atrocities that emerge from the tent. You see as the guards, some of those that have rallied around their leader, with the emergence of these figures, one of them rushing right out towards the bonfire, and with its momentum, it's barely able to stop, and it kind of kicks up a log, and with that, the fire and the ashes and the embers kick up, and you see as it kind of whips the chain around to kind of cover its face and reels from the fire. And then with that in its kind of enraged state, one of the guards there trying to like, whoa, it just impales him and yeets him across. And with that, some of the other guards just kind of like, fuck this. She unleashed them, and they kind of bail out from there. And
Okay,
with
question.
that, each of them, the one that just impaled this guy and kind of yeeted him across, it just kind of, and the other one just kind of screams out into the night as well. You see some of the guards that were rushing out towards you guys. They stop, and kind of with their torchlight, they hold it back towards the way they came, look in your direction, and then back towards the beasts and their leader. And then they kind of like slowly drift off to the left as if they're caught between two enemies almost. And they want none of it. A good number of those guards kind of reel away further off west.
Okay, question.
Go ahead.
Maybe not for myself, but for those... We saw our wonderful gal that I saw in my vision walk out, right? Like,
Yes.
we saw that. I don't know if Talon would have seen it, but did anyone else who was there or who I explained the vision to see this blade, and was it the same blade that I saw?
So it wasn't the blade. The description of the almost emerald and amethyst curved spear tip does resemble somewhat the description of the kind of spike that protrudes out of where their hand should be. Their left hand, I believe it. The same spike that was used to impale a soldier and just yeet.
He asked Liliana if it looked familiar, but the colors do.
Yeah, the colors are very reminiscent of the accents of her glove and the accents of her mask and the little horn that protrudes from it. The initial guards that were pursuing you guys seem to have kind of abandoned their cause. Some of them kind of doing a roundabout way back towards keeping their distance away from the leader and these two creatures that seem to have come out. They're very humanoid, but very hulking in their demeanor. They stand about 8 foot tall each, and kind of like these hulking muscles, and very, as you get kind of a better look at them from what you can from your distance, very like decayed features.
How far away are they from Liliana right now?
From you, about 45 feet.
Liliana's gonna draw back on her bow. And she's gonna throw out a whistle and loose it.
Roll for an attack.
I will get advantage because assassin.
Yep.
Hashtag bless.
And I have a hashtag bless.
Clerics and rogues should not be in the same party.
I rolled a 19 plus 4.
That will
Math, 23.
That will hit.
Let me, I want to read more on this. And it's a sneak attack, so I get sneak attack on it as well. And then I get... and any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit.
Perfect.
So it's a critical hit. So it's max damage, and then an additional roll. So 8, and then I'll roll damage. 8. Eight. 13.
Dicey Mayhem, thank you for the raid. I hope you guys had a wonderful stream. Thank you for tuning in. It's about to get dicey here as well. They ran into a trap. Have yet to discern how they managed to get themselves in this trap, and now these scary-looking behemoth guys have come out of the tent with this leader and attacked their own guys, and now their own guys are kind of just like, all right, we're out. So
it's 30 damage total.
Perfect. What kind of damage?
Piercing.
With that, loosing an arrow from the tree that you climbed into to veil your position outside of the carts, an arrow soars across the encampment and strikes true on one of these abominations, striking it kind of in the upper chest, and it kind of and starts to barrel towards that direction.
Use my movement.
Use my movement.
I am going to jump down. I'm assuming that's going to take about like 10 feet. 10 feet of my movement.
Sure.
Is there a tree closer? And I know it's kind of weird, but I actually want to go in the where he's coming this way. He's running directly at me. I want to run at a diagonal, but in the direction
kind of like
he's
back
running
towards
from.
the direction you guys came, across the carts, or
Yeah. I'll go. I want to go that way, still on the outside of the encampment, and I want to run and
roll a
hide.
stealth check. At this point,
wanna-
you won't have that +10 because you are not within range of Farron anymore.
But I do still have advantage with my
Yes.
cloak, so they would have to roll a disadvantage. That is a 26.
Perfect. You're able to dart across to another tree. This figure storms over and almost knocks over the cart, the simple cart to its left, and grabs onto. You see as you make your way over into that other tree, you just see a hand with a chain attached to kind of like almost a gauntlet just reach around and grab the metal of that iron cart, and it kind of leans around to where the arrow came from. It doesn't seem to notice your position at this time.
I'm gonna throw out another whistle. Then
I would, when I hear the whistle, I would also like to take a shot on Leader Lady.
Okay.
If I may.
You're pretty far away from where you guys buggered off to.
Am I within 150 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Then, yeah.
Yep, roll your attack. Plus D4.
Ooh. Okay, so that is an 18 on the die, 22, doing math.
That will hit.
Does a 33 hit?
It will. Certainly
Excellent.
will.
And would this count as the start of each combat for my Dread Ambusher feature?
Sure.
Okay.
When we start initiative, it will not be the start of each combat at this point, though. But we're just
Okay.
kind of outside of initiative right now because it's kind of sneaky
Fair
attacks.
In that case, can I take my full attack action?
Sure.
Okay. So, all right. The first attack, then, that is 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 more.
Go ahead. Loose.
Snipe. A million. That's 31 to hit.
Also hits.
Excellent. And that is... Uh, 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the last one... that is 32 to hit.
Sure hits. Just
And
barely.
it is 2d8 from the Dread Ambusher feature, so that is 8, 2. So 16 points of piercing damage, and literally once I hear the whistle, I have just been waiting for the moment, and I aim that one arrow at Leader Lady, and just 1, 2, 3. My movement speed is enhanced by 10 feet, so as soon as the third arrow flies, then I am going to move diagonally, heading closer to the camp as I do so for pretty much my full movement speed, because
Sure.
I want to get to those tents.
Perfect. Yeah, you get up right up to the rear of one of the tents, the one closest to the cages, a little bit further to the west, back where you guys came.
Liliana had like pulled me away and everything, and you know, when she went up to the tree, I kind of started to follow Farron, but she whistled, and so I saw the big dudes, and kind of an oh shit reaction, I turned invisible. I cast invisibility.
Okay.
Nice.
And so I'm going to go look for the prisoners.
Okay. Using your full movement, where would you like to go?
I guess to the nearest tent to see if I can
The
find
nearest
them in there.
tent would also be that same one that Farron went to. You could
Okay,
go
well-
further west if you would like to. There's another tent about like 30 yards away from, or 30 feet away from that one. But you can't
Okay,
make
then
your
I'll do
way
that.
all the way over there. You can make your way just about, because of how far you guys were, you can make it to the opposite end of that same tent that Farron's at. The opposite, like, rear end of it.
Okay, because is it... Sorry, can you describe where the tents are again?
Further west would be going deeper into the encampment, back towards where you guys came.
Okay. Then, okay, if I see her going to that one, I know she's wanting to get these prisoners out. I'll go to another one.
Yep. Even still with that first one, you were able to get around to that rear end, further to the west of that end, but still that same tent, just because of how much you were able to move in there.
Am I at the tent or like not yet?
Let's, for sake of this, at this point, roll initiative so that we can get some proper ordering here. Yeah.
Ready to fuck some bitches up.
Okay, Talon, give me your initiative. Farron, yours as well.
18.
20 what?
21.
21. Liliana Foxjay.
26.
20.
Evelina.
6.
6.
Oh no!
I really said, oh shit!
Liliana, you would be first in the order. Let's go.
So I'm in a tree, correct? Is that what you said? I was able to get
Yes.
into another tree. Oh, thank God. Okay. And I don't want to trigger that thing.
Keep in mind that Foxjay, you are right behind that cart that it just went around. So you're right there.
Yeah.
I think I would be looking at.
Also in view, right in front of the middle cart, there is a soldier who did not bugger off. There's a few soldiers who didn't bugger off. He looks a little scared as that thing just ran right past him. But he's kind of like adjusting his sword and like looking off into the woods, looking for you guys.
So, from what Liliana can gather, do those things have no regard for them either? Like, they don't care.
Roll an insight. Let's just real quick.
Okay, all right, let's do that then. Happy to do this. Oh, thank God, today. 18 plus 4, 22 for insight.
22. It seemed like it was something that was triggered after it was injured a little bit. So when it got caught by the fire and took some damage, it just kind of got enraged for a second, and it just had no disregard. That seems to be something that, like, is par for course for them, and that's maybe why the rest of the soldiers bunkered off after this happened.
I imagine Liliana just has the bow drawn, and she's just scanning and looking at. I don't want to fire at that thing again, so I'm scanning more into the camp. I'd imagine I'd see the 2-3 arrows into that one lady, the bebeg.
Yes, and all of those do kind of into her armor, and she kind of and slams the staff further into the ground, and then activates something in her left hand while her sword is ready for action in the right hand.
I am going to draw back on my bow. I really want. These things seem to be connected to her, listening to her. I'm gonna draw back my bow, and I'm going to loose another one at her. And
I'm going to give you guys a line of sight.
Okay.
You will now be able to see, if you check in private chat, this is what's going on. If I got everybody's positions right, let me know. I should have them proper. And let me make sure that our friends on the YouTubes can see as well. This is what we've got going on.
Okay.
This is you up here, Liana.
And C is the big girl, right?
A right here is our.
Oh,
friend
she's
here.
right in view of me. She's clear.
Yeah, right.
She couldn't get it. She couldn't sit any prettier for Liliana. So, yeah, Liliana is gonna go ahead and loose a bolt,
Roll your attack.
an arrow at her. That's rough. Hang on. Double check something here. I don't get to roll with advantage, but I do have bless. So, right?
Bless up.
Right, Hunter? Oh, okay. I just threw it. So that's a 4. So, see, 21. Does a 21 hit?
It does.
Okay. And that'll be with sneak attack as well. So it's 9 and then 3d6. D6. So that is 9 plus 11. That is 20 damage, piercing damage.
Nice.
Done to her, and
Another
I'm going
fourth
to.
arrow strikes from the wood line, doing a solid amount of damage.
And I kind of want to see here.
Is she concentrating on a spell that she's readying or anything?
Was she?
Is she concentrating on a spell or anything?
Nope.
That she's readying? Okay.
I'm
No,
gonna
it was
stay
just
where
a
I'm
flavor
at,
thing.
but I'm gonna bonus action hide. Like, I kind of I will imagine Liliana just kind of looking at a tree branch and just making her way around the actual core of the tree, and she's kind of rotated around. So now she's like peeking over, around, and on the branch.
Perfect. If that concludes your turn, Farron, you're up.
That is my turn. Yeah.
Farron, you've made your way over here to this tent. This is what I was describing here to you guys, Evelina and Farron.
All right. I'm going to take a moment,
This guy would be
just a
over here.
moment,
Sorry.
looking at both the monstrosity and the woman who is controlling it. Make a very, very hard choice. I am not going to attack. I'm going to go to the tent and see if there are prisoners inside.
You're gonna go to the front of it, or are you just gonna do something from the
Can I
rear of it?
lift up the back?
It's almost like rolled underneath. You would you could just slit it. Like you could like, check in real
Yeah,
quick if you want.
I'll take one of my arrows and just slice down the back.
Looking in, there doesn't seem to be anybody in there. There's a bedroll and the guy, some of the guards stuff, but no guards, no prisoners.
Okay. Damn it. Is there anywhere else that, let's see, there's that tent over by Talon, and then what about the tent that is over to the west, kind of on the perimeter out there?
This one?
Yeah,
this
that
is
one.
where Evelina was headed towards.
Okay. I'm gonna use 40 feet of movement to kind of head that way.
40 gets you right here. It's like
Okay.
close enough that you'd be able to just use another turn to look right in.
Okay.
Or use another just like action or whatever just to quickly.
Okay. So would I need to wait till next turn to be able to do that again?
Nope,
To
I'll
look?
let you do it now.
Cool.
If you'd like.
Then I would like to do the same thing. Slice it, look in.
Slicing open, same situation.
Okay. All right, I think that's my turn then.
That brings us to the disciple. You see as this kind of almost green flame with these accents of that purple that you have seen so familiar with the crystalline features of both her adornments and the whatever these creatures are. This flame kind of emanates from her hand and she ignites her scimitar and begins to walk towards this way, towards you guys. She comes over to this guy, kind of grabs him by the collar, find them, and then kind of pushes him aside, and he kind of sturdies up a little bit. Then, yes. With that, lastly, what is the radius on this? Sure. I'm going to roll. Actually, I want chat to roll this, just so you guys know I'm not cheatsy doodling. She's going to set something on fire. I want you to realize that I'm not just choosing that it's going to affect somebody. So what I'm going to say in advance, so that everybody knows there's no cheatsy doodles. Sky, you want to roll? Either the tree that she's in, that Liliana's in, that would be a 1.
Does she know I'm in there?
She doesn't know. She's just trying to light something on fire where you guys are at, essentially. This tent or this cart. The cart would be a 3 or 4. A 2 would be the tent, and your tree would be a 1. So I need exclamation point D4 in chat. Chat, please don't kill us. It's a 1. With that, from her hand, she ignites in a 10-foot radius sphere this kind of greenish, purplish fire that kind of emanates from your tree. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw, Liliana.
That's a 17.
As a 17, you will take half damage from this as you're having to almost jump from the tree as it almost instantly kind of burns and decays at the same time.
I'm gonna
And then
uncanny
as
dodge that, so I take
that's
no damage.
no damage. Okay, perfect. You do feel that that energy of this hot, but then also decaying nature of this flame. It's very strange, but you do take no damage from that. The tree, however, just almost immediately becomes brittle and crumbles into ash. You have to kind of jump off of it.
Okay.
That concludes her turn. So, Foxjay, it's your turn.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I see into this cart at all?
Nope.
No idea what's in it.
Nope.
Cool. I love D&D. I would like
Just
to cast Shatter on the roof of the cart with the potion, all within the same radius. It's like a 10-foot radius kind of thing, so edge it toward where I would pretty much pop the lid open and destroy the thing that is feeding the dispersal.
Are you going to
method.
do it to affect the monster as well? Because you could.
Yeah, sure.
10-foot radius. It'd be like this. You could get him
Yeah,
in it as well.
just
So
to make
in
like
this-
an opening that something could get out and destroy the whatever is sparkling.
Okay.
That was a
With-
good inhale. That makes me scared, but I'm committed.
With that, I need to roll for that. Or did you already roll the damage? Go ahead and roll the damage.
Cool. Since it is a since it's thunder damage, I will use my channel divinity to just max the damage.
Okay.
So it's a 3d8 thunder damage for 24, but the guy, since it's a
Okay.
the creature makes a Constitution saving throw. Is it inorganic material? I don't think
It is organic material, so he did save.
Okay.
The cart,
so-
however, did not. So he will take the 12. The cart did not save against this. From within that, you see the potion kind of just shatter. The pipes within this cart, even themselves, they shatter as well and kind of like break off and become brittle. From what you can tell, you hear almost this gaseous release from within the cart itself. And you hear the creature beside this cart kind of and after a moment from within the cart, this creature kind of like turning to this thunderous thing that happened, it kind of it grabs its chain and flips it around and throws it around to the other side of this cart. It almost like you have to like almost dodge it for a second as the hook latches around to this cart and it starts to drag the cart. But then from within, you hear and this figure turns to what seems to be emanating or emerging from this cart. And from what you can see as you kind of dodge out of the way of this, a hand grabs onto the chain and pulls it forward, and the creature is yanked forward out of your view. You hear the sound of more metal broken open. From below the cart, you see 2 feet jump out from the cart. You see on the other side the other figure as well. as if they're almost in a tango, this figure steps back, poised, ready to just grapple with this beast. And what you see as they round the end of this cart will be described to you by the player themselves when we come back from this break. Immediately, it's Lexi. Let's go! You just brought them into combat with no weapons. But
Hey.
we'll get to that when we come back from the break. 'Cause we gotta bring Lexi in here. Alexandria! A new friend has joined this battle.
Super Smash Brothers intro.
Super Smash Brothers entrance.
A challenger
We'll be right
approaches.
back. We're just gonna take a break. Fine. Okay, yeah, we gotta do some setup because I gotta adjust camps and stuff. And welcome to combat, Lexi. Hi. We'll be back. Player 6 has joined the fight. Everybody stick around. And yeah, the 6th player. We'll be right back.